In the vibrant political arena of Trinidad and Tobago, one name stands out, a figure who shattered glass ceilings and reshaped the nation's history. Today, we're diving deep into the life and career of Kamla Persad-Bissessar, the first female prime minister of this twin island republic. Who was this woman who rose to the highest office in the land? What defined her time in power? And what is her legacy today? Stick around as we uncover the triumphs, the controversies, and the untold story of this political trailblazer. Kamla Persad-Bissessar was born on April 22, 1952, in Siparia, a town in southern Trinidad. Growing up in a humble Hindu family of Indian descent, her early life was rooted in the rural communities of the island. Her journey from these modest beginnings to the corridors of power is a testament to her ambition and resilience. She pursued her education with a fierce determination, first in Trinidad and then abroad. She attended the University of the West Indies, followed by the Hugh Law School, where she earned a legal education certificate. But she didn't stop there. She later obtained a Bachelor of Laws and a Master of Business Administration from the University of the West Indies, solidifying her expertise in both law and business. Before becoming a household name in politics, Kamla Persad-Bissessar had a diverse and impressive career. She started as a teacher, shaping young minds at the St. Andrew High School in Kingston, Jamaica, and later at the University of the West Indies campus in Trinidad. Her passion for education was evident, but her calling for law was stronger. After being called to the bar in 1987, she practiced as an attorney, taking on cases and building a reputation as a sharp legal mind. This combination of teaching and legal practice gave her a unique perspective on the issues facing everyday citizens, a perspective she would carry with her into the political arena. Her political journey began in 1987 when she was appointed as an alderman in the St. Patrick County Council. But her big break came in 1994 when she joined the United National Congress, or UNC, a major political party led by Bastio Panday. In the 1995 general election, she won the Siparia constituency, a seat she has held ever since, demonstrating her deep and lasting connection with her constituents. Her rise within the party was swift. She served as Attorney General in 1995, becoming the first woman to hold that position in Trinidad and Tobago. Over the years, she held several key cabinet posts, including Minister of Legal Affairs and Minister of Education, where she introduced significant reforms. Hey everyone, just a quick pause. If you're finding this story as fascinating as I am, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more deep dives into the figures who shaped our world. Your support means everything. Now, back to the story. By the late 2000s, Kamla Persad-Bissessar was a formidable force in Trinidadian politics. She saw an opportunity to lead, and she took it in 2010. She challenged the incumbent leader of the UNC Bastio Panday in the party's internal elections in a stunning victory. She defeated the party's founder and became the first female leader of a major political party in the country. This set the stage for an even bigger battle. Sensing a shift in the political winds, the then Prime Minister Patrick Manning called a snap general election just a few months later. In May 2010, Kamla Persad-Bissessar masterfully formed a coalition of parties called the People's Partnership. This coalition brought together diverse political groups under a single banner of change and unity. Riding a massive wave of popular support, the People's Partnership won a landslide victory, securing 29 out of 41 seats in Parliament. On May 26, 2010, Kamla Persad-Bissessar was sworn in as the 6th Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, making history as the first woman to hold the office. Her tenure as Prime Minister from 2010 to 2015 was marked by a series of ambitious social programs and policies. One of her government's most celebrated initiatives was the laptop program, which provided a free laptop to every child entering secondary school. The goal was to bridge the digital divide and prepare the nation's youth for a modern, tech-driven world. Another key policy was the Children's Life Fund, established to provide financial assistance for children needing critical overseas medical care that wasn't available locally. These programs were widely popular and seen as a direct investment in the nation's future and its most vulnerable citizens. Her government also focused on infrastructure, initiating projects to improve roads, drainage, and public utilities. They increased the minimum wage and pensions for senior citizens, aiming to improve the quality of life for the working class and the elderly. In foreign policy, she positioned Trinidad and Tobago as a key player in the Caribbean region, hosting international summits and strengthening diplomatic ties. Many would argue that her government's focus on social welfare and people-centric policies made her a good and effective prime minister, especially in the early years of her term. She was often seen as compassionate and connected to the grassroots, a stark contrast to her predecessor. However, her administration was not without its controversies. One of the most significant challenges was the declaration of a limited state of emergency in 2011 to combat a spike in crime. While the government argued it was a necessary measure to restore order and dismantle criminal gangs, critics condemned it as an overreach of power that infringed on civil liberties. The move was polarizing, with some citizens welcoming the temporary drop in crime rates, while others feared the erosion of their rights. Her government also faced numerous allegations of corruption and misconduct involving several cabinet ministers. These scandals, often dubbed Section 34 or the Email Gate affair, dominated headlines and led to a steady erosion of public trust. Section 34 referred to a controversial clause in a new law that could have potentially allowed individuals accused of serious fraud to walk free. Public outcry forced a swift repeal of the clause, but the political damage was done. The Emailgate scandal involved allegations made in Parliament about a conspiracy among senior government officials, though subsequent investigations did not lead to any charges. These controversies created a narrative of a government plagued by scandal, which overshadowed many of its achievements. After a full 5-year term, Kamla Persad-Bissessar and her People's Partnership Coalition faced the electorate again in the general election of September 7, 2015. This time, the outcome was different. The opposition People's National Movement, led by Dr. Keith Rowley, won the election, securing 23 seats to the coalition S18. Kamla Persad-Bissessar conceded defeat and gracefully stepped down as prime minister, transitioning into the role of leader of the opposition. Despite the election loss, she has remained a central figure in Trinidad and Tobago's political landscape. She continues to lead the United National Congress and serves as the leader of the opposition in Parliament, holding the government accountable and remaining a powerful voice for her supporters. Her resilience is remarkable. She has successfully defended her leadership of the UNC in several internal elections since 2015, proving her enduring influence within the party. On a personal note, Kamla Persad-Bissessar has been married to Dr. Gregory Bissessar for many years. Their relationship has been a source of strength for her throughout her demanding career. Together they have one son, Persad-Bissessar. She has often spoken about the importance of family and has managed to balance her high-profile public life with her private roles as a wife, mother, and grandmother. So, was she a good prime minister? The answer, like with most political leaders, is complex and depends heavily on who you ask. Her supporters will point to her historic victory, her compassionate social policies like the laptop program and the Children's Life Fund, and her efforts to improve the lives of ordinary citizens. They see her as a visionary leader who broke barriers and brought a new, more people-focused approach to governance. Her critics, on the other hand, will highlight the numerous scandals that tainted her administration. The controversial state of emergency, and what they perceived as a lack of effective governance in tackling crime and corruption. They argue that despite its promising start, her government ultimately failed to live up to its potential and lost the public's trust. What is undeniable is her impact. Kamla Persad-Bissessar's rise to power was a watershed moment for women in Trinidad and Tobago and across the Caribbean. She proved that the highest political office was no longer an exclusive boys' club. Legacy is not just in the policies she enacted, but in the inspiration she provided to a generation of girls and women who saw in her a reflection of their own potential. Her journey from a small village in Siparia to the Prime Minister's office is a powerful story of ambition, perseverance, and breaking boundaries. Whether you view her as a hero or a flawed leader, her place in the history of Trinidad and Tobago is secure, and her story continues to evolve. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through the life of Kamla Persad-Bissessar. What are your thoughts on her time in office? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories like this. Till next time.